Welcome to Veterans Nation, segment 17. I'm Michelle Ladd, here with Trevor Scott, Kelly Smith, and from Veterans Network, we have Ryan Stirs.
All right, this segment is dedicated to the 173rd Airborne Brigade. They are an infantry brigade combat team based out of Vicenza, Italy, and had most notable battles during Vietnam.
Right. I've actually got a good friend who's in the 173rd stationed out in Vicenza. So he just got back from Afghanistan. So welcome home, Nate, to you and your unit.
Yeah, the brigade got resurrected in 2000, so they're still going strong over in Afghanistan for us.
Oh, great.
All right. The Subcommittee on Economic Opportunity of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs recently held a hearing on increasing the functionality of VA claims processing for the Post-911 G.I. Bill. Veteran student witnesses at the hearing testified that veterans continue to have concerns about delays and the ability to access information about their benefits. The subcommittee is now examining ways to cure these problems.
Those problems exist even for people that are still in the military, that are trying to finish their school or get their master's degree. I have friends that are having issues with this as well, and sometimes your approval expires before you're even able to start school. So there does need to be some sort of work on this, and it's actually important to note that even the president of the Student Veterans of America, who is an OEF veteran, he testified on the current VA long-term solution system that it is inadequate and that an internet-based single portal system, such as those used by FedEx or various banks and insurance companies, would definitely be a lot more efficient than the one they currently use.
Right. So in other words, Congress bought a lemon with this program.
Totally.
Our tax dollars at work.
I mean, not to knock the Post-911 G.I. Bill, because it's a great program.
It
but
is if it's used effectively.
Right. The way they're processing it is a bit archaic.
And even the school representatives were talking about how inefficient it was and just impossible.
Right, and it's ever changing, and it's just overcomplicated. And like you said, there needs to be a one portal website that they use where you can go on, check how many months you have left, that type of thing. Because as it is now, you have to call the VA, wait on hold for 45 minutes, and then hopefully whoever answers the phone has the information for you.
It just needs to be something simple, easy for people to access, and
the regions don't have cross. What am I trying to say? They don't. They're not able to share information.
Right.
So if you apply to school one place and then you decide to go to school in another,
it's different state by
apparently
state.
It's like,
nobody talks to each other.
Yeah.
But this subcommittee hearing is a good step in the right direction, I think, to work these problems out.
That's really important to a lot of people in order to get their schooling. A lot of people, that's why they even join the military in the first place.
Right. That's definite bonus. And if you want to hear more about this hearing, visit the website, or you can watch the webcast of the entire hearing on the Veterans Network Legislation Report channel.
Time for a positive break.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At iava.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. iava.org. We've got your back.
Here's an interesting statistic that I wouldn't have thought to be true. There are over 84,000 couples in the United States Armed Forces that are military married to military. And these days, it seems to be a lot more common that married people are joining the military together, or that they happen to be finding love on their first job assignment. And that's a pretty high number. I wasn't expecting it to be that high.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a lot. Well, now here's a question. I mean, you already have the problems of deployments and being in different geographical locations. If you're civilian married to military, I wonder if that is even more taxing if it's military. Because you said they're joining together to be together. How does that work?
Well, it says right here that all military branches that have this program called Joint Spouse, they are based within 100 miles of each other. And not only that, but DoD-wide, about 80% of the military married to military are assigned within 100 miles of each other. So that's not too bad of a statistic. And the thing that's not great is that you realize that 20% don't have that. So they don't get to be close during their entire enlistment.
At least it's a program that's trying to keep them together.
And that's really, I mean, that's the most a big government company can, or
Right.
agency
It's
can
not
do
bad.
is, you know, I mean, at least
Not
try.
Yeah.
Try and help them
Yeah.
out. It is a volunteer force.
Right.
They didn't have to do it.
Right. So if I were still active duty, would I have to stand at attention and salute before I propose to you, Kelly? Say,
Where's my deployed rock?
Captain Smith is Sergeant Scott asking for your hand in marriage?
Don't forget
I'll
the
think
ma'am.
about it.
Ma'am.
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 Wait, you were doing it wrong, Trevor. Here's how a marriage proposal in the military should go.
World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Gulf, the war on terrorism. Millions of American soldiers have served, protected, and fought for our country with their own lives. Today, there are more than 26 million veterans in the U.S., but for most returning home from their tour of duty, making the transition back into civilian life is often one of the toughest challenges they face.
Coming home from any war is a lifelong process, but for the veteran today, the fact that so many of them are National Guard and Reserves and they're serving multiple tours, they're coming back to an economy that is very weak, they're coming back to families that have seen them come and go and leave jobs that they were maintaining their lifestyle, their families or whatever. The war memories, the war injuries, the thoughts of war, that whole transition when Johnny and Mary comes marching home is very different. It's a long process. It doesn't happen overnight.
National Veterans Foundation is meeting the needs of veterans and their families and is continuously focused on expanding their efforts to provide real solutions for these American heroes. For more information about National Veterans Foundation, contact them today or visit their website at nvf.org.
All right, we are back, and we are here for a special commentary from Joe the Vet.
Hi, I'm Joe the Vet. You can call me Joe the stunt driving hot rod vet too if you want. But actually, it's me, Rick. And I wear this hat when I've got something important to say about veterans, and this is important. This is about disability, and this is about Vietnam veterans, but the young veterans from OEF, OIF, and Gulf War, this is pretty important for you to hear too. When I was 50 years old, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes comes with age in most cases. It's not the type where you have to shoot insulin. Type 2 is easily controlled with a better diet and medication. And that's what I did. I modified my diet, stopped eating things that were heavily laden with sugar, and took my medication daily like the doctor told me to do. And I'm doing just fine. But here's where I'm going with this. The Agent Orange Act of 1993 listed type 2 diabetes on the list of presumptive conditions that could be caused by exposure to the herbicide Agent Orange in Vietnam between 1962 and 1975. So, most Vietnam veterans are in their 50s, many are in their 60s, some even in their 70s. You have to ask yourself, have you had a blood test? Do you have type 2 diabetes? It can be detected by a simple blood test. If you have type 2 diabetes and you don't know it, you're setting yourself up for a medical disaster. If you do know that you have type 2 diabetes and you're a Vietnam vet, you're eligible to file a claim for compensation for exposure to Agent Orange based on your type 2 diabetes. And it's not that hard. In my case, I was I had boots on ground. I had a CIB, Purple Heart, and I was already in the system. I was 20% disabled from previous war-related wounds. I went to my doctor. He wrote the statement. I called the VA. They sent me the paperwork. I filled it out. I dotted my I's, crossed my T's, but I did everything the way they told me to do it. And because I was in the system, I had my first compensation check in 90 days. My rating went from 20 to 40% because of the type 2 diabetes. And they didn't hound me or question me as to whether I had any hereditary connection to type 2 diabetes. Not at all. That was never even mentioned. So get a blood test. It's for your health and your well-being to know where you stand. And if you've got type 2 diabetes, file a claim. You were poisoned in battle. You deserve it. You've earned it. You're entitled to it. File a claim. This is Joe the Vet. Out.
Hitting the ground, flipping cars upside down, jumped the General Lee over a semi-truck, went straight to ER, cause I pushed my luck. Did stunts for crews and slashed alone, but they say they did them on their own. I made flicks with Howard, Crow, Wu, and Lee, and that's right, I'm the one who jumped at General Lee. Broke bones, burnt flesh, blown out knees, crashed 2 helicopters through the trees, jumped a horse from a train, going 20, done lots of crazy shit. Yeah, just for the money. Take 1, 2, take 3 and 4. I sell my body for a living like a Hollywood whore. Think you're tough? Think you got what it takes? Well, in my line of work, you pay for your mistakes. You hit the ground, you deal with the pain. Nobody wants to know your name. You play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Tomorrow it just may be your turn. That's my face you'll never see. Airbags, ratchets, rams, and cable fell 25 feet through a breakaway table. Midnight run. Ain't nothing they could dream of that I can't do. Clooney, Travolta, and even Sean Penn. I can tell you right now, they're all my friends. You think you're bad? Think you're bad as me? Think again, I'm the one who jumped at General Lee. Hey, Seagal, there ain't no doubt. Gene LaBelle, yeah, he choked you out. Pamela, Cameron, and even J-Lo, we did so much shit that they'll never know. That's my face you've never seen. Dukes of Hazzard, Fall Guy, you've seen me flying through the sky. I'm immune to pain, addicted to speed, and pure adrenaline is all I ever really need. So if you think you're tough, think you got what it takes, well then jump on in, but don't make no mistakes. Hey Van Damme, take it from me, you better stay away from Chuck C. I've lost good friends like Reed Rondell, and who's going down next, you never can tell. That's my face you've never seen. seen me flying through the sky. I'm immune to pain, addicted to speed, and pure adrenaline is all I ever really need. So if you think you're tough, think you got what it takes, well then jump on in, but don't make no mistakes. Hey Van Damme, take it from me, you better stay away from Chuck C. I've lost good friends like we brought